Hey folks, today we're going to be trying out Joshua Weissman's duck prosciutto recipe, or prosciutto as they say in the old country. Why am I doing this? Well, I really enjoy charcuterie, and so I thought this could be a good way to kind of get into making my own at home. So basically the idea is that we're going to take this duck breast and lay it, entomb it really, in a container of salt with some spices and aromatics that are basically going to go around it. We're going to pop that into the fridge for a day and give the salt some time to basically diffuse into the breast. And what that's going to do is cure it. We're not cooking it, but curing it, and that kind of dehydrates it a little bit. And essentially, that's going to make it inhospitable for foodborne illness bacteria to grow on the surface of the duck breast, so it's actually safe to eat. Anyway, let's hop to it.
And now for some contractually obligated ASMR. First, we need to weigh our duck breast. The goal after the curing process is for the meat to weigh roughly 35 to 40% of what it was originally. So we're going to put the duck breast on the scale, and we can see that our duck breast is 22.1 grams. So we should have a target weight of 13 to 14 grams, which will happen in about 2 weeks' time. Now here we're going to add the duck to the salt, spice, and aromatics. I'm using a mix of black peppercorns, sage, thyme, garlic, and rosemary. And so we're going to cover each side with those spices and aromatics and then fill the rest of the container up with salt.
So now that we have our duck breast in our container of salt, we're going to pop that into the fridge for an entire day. And then once that day is up, we're going to take it out, and we're going to take the duck breast out, and we're going to wrap it in cheesecloth and then tie it up with butcher's twine. And then we'll use some more butcher's twine to basically affix the duck breast to, let's say, like a bottle hanging from the side of your fridge. Really, you want it to kind of hang in the fridge. You want that air to circulate around it. And the reason for that is because if that duck breast is leaning up against something, then you're giving an opportunity for bacteria to grow there, and you really don't want to do that. So we're going to leave it hanging in the fridge for about 14 to 18 days. And then from there, it'll be properly cured. We'll weigh it again, though, just to check, and we should be able to eat it. I want to note that specifically this recipe is for duck breast and not necessarily just any type of meat that you want to cure. If you're going to try other types of meats, I recommend going to a curing website. Meatsandsausages.com is a good one, and you can kind of look up a recipe for how much weight you need to lose from the meat, how long that should take, and how much salt you need to put in there. So yeah, just to note that this recipe is really just for the duck breast.
One eternity later.
It's been 14 days. We're going to take our duck breast out and weigh it to make sure that it's at the correct weight we need to be. That's in the range, so this works. So now, basically, all that's left to do is eat it.
Why am I doing this? Well, listen. Reflection and introspection are really great and wonderful tools for evaluating your life, but it doesn't mean it should get in the way of doing something stupid and fun and creative. Yeah, you can worry about it not being perfect, but that shouldn't stop you from making it. And yeah, you can worry about people thinking it's too weird or too odd, but again, that shouldn't stop you from making something dumb and fun and creative, because ultimately, the goal is just to make something for yourself, to have a creative outlet. That's what matters.
So now we're going to actually prepare this the correct way for how you want to eat this type of thing. Basically, you want to slice it as thinly as you can. You can see here I'm having an issue, one, because my knife is not as sharp as I would like it to be, but two, I didn't put a paper towel, a wet paper towel beneath the cutting board, so the cutting board decides it wants to slide around. I almost, there you go, I realize I'm about to cut off my thumb, and I remedy that. I'm really showcasing my excellent knife skills here, putting my whole hand on the duck breast so you can't actually see what I'm doing. And yeah, we're just going to chop off a few slices here. I think originally what my plan kind of was is to chop off a bigger slice kind of at an angle so it could get a bias going, so you kind of end up with more of the duck breast as opposed to kind of half fat, half like meat. And then I'm going to show you a little bit of what this looks like. So that's a pretty decent piece. It's relatively thin. You can already see that the fat is starting to melt. I think I just ate it. I guess that ruins the reaction shot.
Okay, so it's been 14 days and we've got our duck breast. It's been cured all the way, so now I've basically sliced it up as thin as I could. I did not do a very good job. I guess my knife is not sharp enough, but we've got our duck breast right here. So now I'm gonna try it and give you kind of my reaction to it, what my thoughts are. Right off the bat, I just wanna point out that this is basically like the fat is very, it like melts in your hands is basically what I'm trying to say. It's very aromatic. You can smell it from a long ways away, and it smells very rich and concentrated, as you might expect. So I'm just gonna get a little piece here, and just for the sake of demonstration. This little piece has got a nice little layer of fat on top. It's glistening because of the fat is sort of melting all over it. Yep, smells like duck and salts and aromatics and all that sort of thing. So right off the bat, it's very intense. In like a charcuterie sort of way, it kind of reminds me of other types of cured meats. Not necessarily prosciutto, I would say, but I feel like I've had cured meats that kind of taste like this. So up front, it's that very salty, very cured sort of taste. And then on the back end, it just hits you like a ton of bricks, just a ton of duck, really. The duck just comes in and hits you right there. It's very concentrated duck flavor. I've not had a lot of duck in my life, but I definitely know that this is what duck tastes like. Overall, I would say it's pretty good. I wouldn't eat a lot in one sitting like I feel like I normally could for just regular prosciutto or other types of charcuterie. This is so rich and intense that you maybe have just a few, like 5 max slices, and then you're done for the day. It's that powerful and strong and pungent. But it's probably a good thing to kind of just have around. And you know, was it worth the effort? Well, it was a lot of salt, and it took a while, and so you end up having like swinging meat from your fridge door for 2 weeks or longer. And so that can be a bit of annoying, and then you end up with like this very small kind of duck breast. But because it's so rich, I feel like it's not too bad. It's sort of worth the effort. If you were looking to get into curing and doing something like this, then you might as well start with this. This is an easy one. It's enjoyable. It's something you could impress your friends with, I think. A little bit goes a long way. And so this is a nice thing you could just have around the house and work on as like a small kind of side project. Anyway, that's it from me, folks. So thanks for watching.